Hello YouTube, and thank you for watching my channel. Earlier in the week, I had my brother show how to paint a model and how to fix it and for his Warhammer 40k stuff that he does. And he's probably going to do a couple more of these because I think it's really interesting how he does it and how he gets these things set up. So what I did is I broke the video actually down into 15-minute parts or segments so that, I don't know about you guys, but I would rather watch it in 15-minute segments than I would to sit down and watch it in a 2-hour segment. So anyway, I broke it down into 15-minute segments, and here's the segments. This is going to kind of be the intro for every one of them, and I'm going to number them as we go. So without further ado, here's my brother Joe, and he's painting a model. On the first episode, he's going to explain the model to you, and then throughout the episode, he's going to explain what he's actually doing, why he's painting it, why he's found why he's going to paint it, and essentially he's going to walk you through the steps that he's done and he's learned through his trial and error on how to actually get these models looking so that he can sell them, because that's one of the things that he does, is he sells them to other people to be able to use as well. So without further ado, here's my brother Joe. Thank you.
I mean, look how much of this guy's freaking a mishmash, or this girl is a mishmash of all these different parts and bits. It's really fun to me. But at the same time, every single one of your models doesn't have to be Queen Victoria. You know, especially when you're painting a good amount of Imperial Guardsmen every day. I mean, I've got enough models to run an Apocalypse game entirely on my own. Not so sure I'm doing a wonderful job of keeping you right in the middle of the camera, so just kind of scoot around a little bit more to get this in. So there, that's all painted. Now, let's go ahead, clean that brush off, and paint the metal bits, I think, of his armor. Let's screw this back on. Now, for him, let's go ahead, and I think let's have fun with this. And let's paint it a nice Dwarf Bronze. I think that's a good color. Now, a lot of these Citadel paints are the older type as well. And so, because they're the older type, they have different names. So I'm not sure if Dwarf Bronze is a color anymore. I don't know the difference between the different sessions of paint to be able to say, oh, this one's this, and this one is now called this, and this one's now called that, just because I haven't been paying all that much attention. I just look at the paint and go, huh, I can use this, and so I buy it and I use it. And that's how I roll. Basically the same way I do all my models, because I just go, oh, this looks fun, and then I buy it. And then I go, alright, now that I bought it, what can I use it for? Oh, I don't know what to use this for. Oh, well. And then I'm like, oh, down the road, I'm like, oh, I can cut you up and put you up here. Oh, I could use you for this. Or, oh, I could use you for that. Like, right now, I really hate Age of Sigmar, personally. Mostly because I'm a fluff guy, and the Age of Sigmar fluff makes no sense to me whatsoever. Like, it's really confusing and off the wall and very everywhere, and I'm just like, I'm gonna pass. And that's my main reason for not liking Age of Sigmar. The rules are more simplified, and that is 100% correct. But I also find that I don't really like the fact that their point system is mostly gone, and it's all about really the model. I find that to be really crappy to those of us who don't have the money to be able to pump out the size of models they have. I'm actually going to get a bigger brush for the chainsaw, so that we will, or the orc chainsword, so that will be a little bit easier to paint. Get that a little bit more. This one's probably one I'm going to have to start touching up with the scissors soon. I'm going to have to start touching up all these with scissors soon. So the next time I record this, you're going to notice that, hey, his brushes look a little different. Well, yeah, that's because I want to get them to be useful and have them keep useful. Alright, let's get this sucker. Let's get this sucker some nice dwarf bronze. I like to make things, you know, specialized, different colors. I especially like to make things specialized because then that really makes the army my army. Because it doesn't look like anybody else's army. I mean, do you see anybody else with Sister of Battle riding saber-tooth cats into battle? Has Thunder Cavalry? I'm sure someone else has done Sisters riding wolves. I got the idea from my friend who plays who also plays Sisters of Battle. He's sadly right now he's in Scotland and I'm not in Scotland, so him and I don't get we can only converse, thankfully, through the massive miracle of science. I mean, I freaking love technology because it allows us to talk to people across great distances, like my girlfriend Cassie and me. It's like we don't get to see each other as often because she lives in Scotland. She's from Scotland and she lives in Scotland, and I'm way the heck over here, not in Scotland. So her and I can still converse, talk, and see each other using the wonderful miracle of Skype. Let's actually point brush this on to make it look more like it was beaten and pounded into place instead of the nice smooth forgeries of the Imperium and the Adeptus Mechanicus, because orcs are not very known for their nice smooth technologies. They're very much beaten and pounded and smacked into place. Alright, so we used bronze for the majority of his armor. Now let's go ahead and go with steel, I think, for his gun. Let's make that still look at least like a gun. Because, you know, a lot of people, there's this joke on the internet that you can give an orc a piece of wood carved like a bolter, and if he thinks it's a bolter, it will fire like a bolter. Well, when you actually start reading the Orc Codex and stuff, it's not actually true. Orcs are massively psychic, and that psychic ability actually, you know, allows them to give that boost to their weapon, because really their weapon is a bolt gun. It's not a bolt gun technically. It's a solid slug, so it shoots solid rounds, and so it does shoot solid rounds, and it does have bullets. It just, you know, might explode in somebody else's hands. And so the orc's psychic ability gives the gun that little bit of oomph to make sure that it doesn't explode while the orc is using it. There we go, get that gun nice and covered. There we go. And the detail, like right now all we're doing is we're blanket covering the models. I spent a massive amount of time reading fluff, which is one of the reasons why I've read every single one of the codexes from 3rd ed up. I have read all of not all the novels, a good chunk of the novels, but not all of them. I haven't read Eisenhower yet, and I kind of want to. And I'm not sure I've read Cassius Cain's yet. Yeah. Anyway. But yeah, I've read all the codexes. I've read all the lore books. Let's go with some nice medium green for our orc skin. Actually, yeah, let's make him darker. Let's use some nice orc hide shade. Some old foundation. But yeah, I read all the lore books. I read all of the Dark Heresy books. I've read all of the Only War books. I've read all of... I used to read the crap out of Lexiconum. I even helped write some of the Lexiconum boards. Just because, you know, I like the lore, and I've noticed that, you know, some of the stuff weren't updated when they put out a new book, like the fact that the Howling Griffins, I think that one actually still needs to be updated, but how the Howling Griffins are chasing this demon around. Well, in the Soul Drinkers omnibus, I think it's the second omnibus, it's mentioned that the Howling Griffins are on their way home after finally catching up to and defeating said demon. And I don't think it's been updated yet, so I might actually get on and update that. But yeah, but I like Lexiconum. I like WoW-Wiki, except for the fact that the wiki, it's got so much extra information and stuff on the website that it actually bleeds. It's got so many advertisements on it. I don't really like ad blocker, just because I know that's how a lot of people get their money. And so, you know, if they're giving me a free service, the least I can do is look at the ads. Now, that said, at the same time, I really like Crunchyroll. I don't like it how it does its ads, like boom ad, boom ad, boom ad every few minutes. That's too much. Beginning, maybe middle, depending on how long it is, and end. That's all you should have your ads on for. Anything longer than that, and you are taking your clientele for granted. And taking your clientele for granted is not a good thing to do, because then, you know, they get ad blocker. Because no one wants to see that many ads. I personally don't actually watch on Crunchyroll, just because with ad blocker, that it starts spasms in me. That strobe effect, when I'm not expecting a strobe effect, it kind of really screws with my eyes. Or I should say my eye. My left eye doesn't really work all that well. It's still there. It's still the real one, but it's got massive scarring on it, all up and down it, so it doesn't. I can't really see as well out of it. Anyways, let's get this. So yeah, orcs are living fungus. The only thing I don't really like about the Space Marine game, you know, or was it named Ultramarine? No, I think it's named Space Marine. Besides, you know, that the plot line was kind of eh. But, is the fact that the orcs bleed red blood. Especially because the old books, like the Xenos book, had it that the orcs bled green blood because of the amount of fungal content in them and in their body. So all my orcs, if I have orcs and I'm painting orcs and they're bleeding and stuff, they're bleeding green blood. Because, you know, that's what the old lore says, that's what the lore says, that's what we're going to go with, even though the video game's like, well, let's make it red blood, so that way we don't have to work as hard, we can just have blood as blood. I'm like, you guys are lazy. Lazy people. Lazy, 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 lazy. Okay. And finish off his neck. Boom! Oh, okay. All the green stuff is covered in green stuff. Mwahahaha. Our orc is now green. Should probably sneak you a little bit closer, just to make it easier on me to have it so that way the model is easier for you to see. So look, see how much we've gotten done just from what, this hour hour or so I've been talking to you. Yeah, it takes a while to paint, but when you get done, it's pretty good. Now, I'm going to go ahead and move on to white, because her robes are white. He's got to have white detailing, and I'm actually going to make the wraps on his arms white, so that way when they are, I can make them, with my washes, make them look dirtyish. Again, remember I made that comment about having to put those little beads in there to break it up. There we go. Almost. Come on. Oh. I have to switch to another white container because I screwed up this one. I'm going to be sad. White, I have a really bad rap with white. Like Citadel white, I don't buy it anymore because it dries out like nothing else. Ah, almost. Do I still have those pliers? No, I do not still have those pliers. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh, poop, you're joking me. Alright, it's going to be a second for you. It's going to be a little bit for me. I'm going to go grab those pliers. Because, like I said, my blue paint is getting really gunky. So it's not holding as well.
Thank you for watching how Joe paints and explains and looks at these models. Now, like I said earlier, these are broken up into parts, so please stay tuned for the other parts as well, as he explains and breaks down what he's actually doing with the models and what he's actually painting them. I know that you guys don't really want to listen to me when you're looking at these models, so I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys, just like, subscribe, leave comments about what he's painting. Maybe you've come up with other ideas or other things on how to do models as well, whether it's Warhammer 40k, D&D, or any other type of models. Now, if you have come up with more information or you want more information from Joe, please do leave a comment below. Also, like I said earlier, please like and subscribe. That means a lot to us. That shows that these are the type of videos or types of information that you want getting out there. Because like I said, this YouTube is just kind of a random. We believe in fun and we believe in education, and we want to get it out there. So again, stay tuned for the other parts, and we'll go ahead and get you on to the next one. Thank you very much.